Shalom Aleichem. It's been a long time. My apologies. Yom Tov took me over, and then no excuses. But what gave me chizuk is I just came back from the Kinnis HaShluchim, and there at the Kinnis, quite a few people walked over and said, "Why aren't you doing it?" So, as cheesy and as condescending it is to myself, feedback makes a difference. Just to be able to know that, the effort is actually noticed. And I know after all the sichas we learned together, I should have done better with my life and I should have become a real Chassidish Yid and not care. What can I do? Anyway, the first sich I chose, Vayeitzei Gimel, definitely set me up for almost running back to canceling because it was so hard. Not that the sicha is a hard sicha, but when you look at the end of the sicha, then literally, what does it say? It says it's based on a Maamar, and it's based on the winter sichas of Tafshin Chavdal. Well, I skimmed through, I can't say I read every line of the sichas in Teres Menachem Tafshin Chavdal in the winter. I can't really find much. There are small references to Dir B'Tachtonim, etc., but it looks like that whatever did come from those sichas, and it doesn't even actually say which specific sicha, there weren't that many sichas in that winter. It's something more in the ha'adis, or it's a small nekuda in the sicha. But the bulk of the sicha is based on the Maamar. Now, this Maamar is worth studying, but that's not what we're going to do together. It's worth talking about, because this is a very interesting Maamar. The Rebbe said this Maamar 10 days after the original Rosh Chodesh Kislev, Tafshin Lamed Ches. He said it on Motzei Shabbos, Parshas Vayeitzei, Tes Kislev, Tafshin Lamed Ches, still in his room. Rebbe gave the Maamar in his room. It's a long Maamar, as you can see. It's a very, very long Maamar. I'll actually share the screen just for context of how long the Maamar is. It goes on and on and on and on and on and on. Now, the Rebbe said it in his room, and then the Rebbe gave it out 10 years later for the 10th year anniversary of the Chodesh Kislev, Tafshin Mem Ches. And over here, the Rebbe wrote in the Kuntis, Likras Melois Eser Shana L'Yom Haba Chodesh Kislev. And that was a very famous the Chodesh Kislev. Actually, the nigun of the Chodesh Kislev was really then introduced, and Chassidim danced with it the whole night, and it was a very, very big simcha. And this year is 45 years from Tafshin Lamed Ches and 35 years from Tafshin Mem Ches. Now, when the Rebbe gave out this Maamar, it was quite interesting because the Rebbe said that he's giving it out specifically to the Kinus HaShluchim Ha'olami. That was the second Kinus HaShluchim Ha'olami, I believe. There were previous Kinus HaShluchim just for the Americans. Anyways, the Rebbe gave out the Sicha. It was quite a big tumult. The Rebbe said only Shluchim and Shluchas. So the Rebbe said first the Shluchim, then the Shluchas. Now, it was very messy. People didn't really understand what was going on, but eventually things sorted itself out. And it was very specific. There was a certain rabbi that walked by, and the Rebbe said, "Du bist a shliach." And he said, "I'm a rabbi." Adab. So the Rebbe went like this, like a shock. And then when the Shlomo Kunin, who was obviously a shliach, the Rebbe smiled with him and said, "Du bist a shliach, you're a shliach." And then there was an elderly Yid that walked by. The Rebbe said, "Is he a shliach?" And he said, "Ich bin a mashpia. I'm a mashpia." And interesting, the Rebbe said the words, "Father mir allein nemich nit." For me, myself, I'm not taking. I'm like, in other words, I'm not a shliach. Or in this context, I'm not taking. This is for the shluchim. So that's the Maamar V'Shavti B'Shalom. The Sicha is it's I'm not sure the right word to use it. It's not as words of Kabbalah, etc. It's written more in user friendly than a Maamar. Now, this Sicha was published a year after the Maamar. So this literally within a year, it was given out in Tafshin Lamed Tes. So literally a year after the Maamar was said, it was transformed into a Sicha format and published then. It doesn't cover all the Nekudas of the Maamar, but it covers quite a few. And then 9 years after that, Tafshin Mem Ches, it came out as a Maamar. Now, again, now that you understand the context, Rebbe gave this Maamar out, which is basically the same theme of the Sicha, for 10 years of Shkosh Kislev. It says something, and then the Rebbe only gives it to the Shulchan, and the Rebbe Dafke, who gets it. It's very powerful concepts, and obviously the core concept of this Maamar, of this Sicha, is Dida B'Tachtonim, and very, very extensive, a lot of Haskalah, but a lot of take home. So yes, we return to our project Kut Sichas recording. Once again, apologies, and let's now, Mitzvah Hashem, hopefully I can keep the momentum. And thank you all for the feedback that you gave. It really made a huge difference.